welcome back. It's Fanboys Gaming here. Jaden, Stanley reporting, and Jonathan.
Jonathan Zollo. I can do my own.
Sorry. I'm a camera hog sometimes, guys. I apologize. We're about to talk to you guys about the best holiday of the year, or what I consider to be a holiday. It's not really a holiday, but to me, it's better than Christmas because it's when all the developers and all the big console makers give us the things we like, which is new games, new content, new systems to play on, new toys.
Or quite possibly things we don't like.
Things we don't like. And we're going to talk about E3, which again is the holiday of my choice, favorite holiday, which is not real, but...
No, it is. It is.
Okay, it could be a holiday.
No,
for us gamers, it is a holiday. Okay.
Should be the next federal holiday. Right, yeah. Congress.
Put it on
Tell them.
Tell your congressman. Put it in your calendar.
Yep.
All right. Anyway, so we're going to start things off talking about Microsoft, especially considering we're reporting a week late. So first we're going to say what they were going to do, and then also we're going to talk about how they just said, whoops, never mind. We posted that on our page. So let's talk about Microsoft. What do you think about Xbox One?
You mean the cable box?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the new Microsoft cable box. What are you doing?
Sorry.
Get off your phone.
Sorry.
No, doing something.
Sorry.
Anyway, cable box. Yeah, that cable box. I mean, like, when I think about console, like, obviously look, like, the aesthetics of it does actually play a role in it. Probably not as big as a role, but, I mean, I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. I liked the nice, like, curve. From a
cosmetic standpoint, it looks sweet. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like the system as a whole, cosmetically,
it's just very like geometric and like or even more so than the PS4. I mean, the PS4 like actually was like unique. I mean, this is just a box. I know there's a box in the name.
Doesn't have to be a box,
but it doesn't have to be a box.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it makes perfect sense.
And like another second thing, at least I think so, is like the big thing for me is cost. I think that was actually a big thing for a lot of people too.
Microsoft announced a $499.99 price tag for the release day on day one this November. So yeah, guys, you can all be a proud owner of an Xbox One. Just fork out $5,000. You know, it's like house payment versus my new Xbox.
I mean, come on, that's half my bank account.
Yeah, we're poor college kids.
Yeah,
we love video games, but not that much. One thing that I was really psyched about, I'm a huge Xbox nut. I love Xbox 360. I love a lot of the games that they have on it. I love everything, that, like, from Minecraft to Halo to, I'm a huge fan of a lot of first-person shooters, and so the gaming communities from Xbox Live that play those games, I know they're also on other systems, but you can't beat the community of Xbox Live as far as how they've developed their online system. I thought it was really cool that they announced they're going to start giving away games for free.
Yeah, I have a feeling that they mostly did that as a way of saying I'm sorry for E3. I mean, like I personally have an Xbox 360. But, we'll see how long I actually do have it. But.
Well, and I think, too, they're also trying to compete with PlayStation Network. Because PlayStation Network does, they give away a bunch of games, too, if you have PlayStation Plus.
Let me say, though, that at the present moment, I actually think that PlayStation Plus is better. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, like, this is the first month that Microsoft's doing their free giveaway. Mm-hmm. And they're supposed to do, from what I understand, 2 a month.
Yeah.
It's supposed to do 2 months.
Every 2 weeks, they rotate a new game in.
So far, there's only one.
Right.
And it's Fable 3, and it's really fun. I love the Fable series, but this is, the 22nd?
Yeah.
And there's only one game out right now.
Yeah. And it's very possible they might not release a second one this month. The 2 games might start again next month. And I think...
But, like, when that compares to the PSN, I mean, like, last month, I got... 5 free games off of it. Mm-hmm. Including Infamous 2, Darksiders.
Newly released titles.
Yeah,
or
newer titles.
Which, I mean, again, Fable 3 was released about, what, 2 years ago?
It was a year and a half ago, I'd say. Maybe.
Well, but the other titles they're talking about doing is like big platinum hit games, for example, or fans' favorite games, for example, like Halo 3, Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah, I heard that the next game quite possibly could either be Assassin's Creed 2 or Halo Reach, and I'd love to see Halo Reach.
But here's the thing, I don't think Microsoft wants to lose the money on giving out Halo Reach for free, or for $10 a month, even. And some people pay less than that. I mean, you can pay $60 for a full year, so $5 a month if you do the card. Anyway, so the few games that I was really excited about that Microsoft did show that they said were going to be launch titles. Rise.
Really cool. Like as trying to get my master's in Roman history, like that is like the best thing that they could possibly do. It almost warrants $500 for a system.
Yeah, I mean, some people might just go out and buy the system just for that game.
Right here, this guy.
Another thing too that I was really excited about, Project Spark was really cool because they were actually integrating the Kinect and Smart Glass in a positive way.
Actually making it, worth buying.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like Xbox 360 was kind of like, hey, we're going to do Kinect and we're going to do Smart Glass, but it was really kind of a halfway attempt. Like, it was like, they should have released their full potential then, but they didn't. They were kind of holding on to it because I think they were waiting to use its full potential come Xbox One, and they knew that from the beginning. So, here it is. They're finally using the full potential of that, and I'm really excited to see how it works. We're gonna post links to these games so you can like look at the trailers and kind of see how it plays.
Project Spark it does look really fun how you can actually develop your own game, and you could interact with it, like, and it just looks really fun. It reminds me a lot of Avatar. Last Airbender.
Yeah, and it kind of, I mean, I think like it takes the idea of Little Big Planet and Spore and Skylanders, or not Skylanders. What am I thinking of? Anyway,
what are you thinking of?
There's Scribblenauts. Oh, sorry guys. It takes all those ideas and just kind of blows them out of the water and says, no, we're going to create a whole game, and you're going to be able to share it online with your friends. It's really cool. You should check it out. Those are the two big hits, I say, from Microsoft. They talked about, I mean, of course, they announced another Halo, but I mean, how many of those can we have?
Yeah, I think they only have 2 left in them, and then they're done with that, or they're gonna just beat it to death until it stops.
They're just gonna keep pumping money out
until it stops being a moneymaker, which.
And so, I mean, I think eventually they're gonna have to do something. 343, I think, is gonna have to do something completely new. Maybe kick Master Chief off his scale. I mean, you guys tell us your opinion. I feel like it's all really repetitive at this point.
I personally don't really like my favorite Halo games were actually ODST and Reach.
Yeah, the ones that were different.
Didn't have Chief in them.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, so they're gonna have to do something like that. I mean, you can talk to a bunch of Halo junkies. A good friend of ours. He probably knows exactly who we're talking to when we say this, but he's so ecstatic, and he is so ready. He's so ready for the new Halo game to come out, and he's so excited. I'm like, dude, like, what's it gonna be about? Master Chief saves the world again. Awesome.
Woo!
All right. Let's move on.
All right, yeah.
Sony. Okay. I know you're a big Sony fan, so I'll let you take control.
I love Sony.
On this one. What are you excited about when it comes to PlayStation 4?
I'm first of all very excited that it's not going to be a huge expenditure to actually get one like the PS3 was. Like, I gotta say, I love my PS3 to death. I have the very first PS3, the giant, massive one that I swear is like 20 pounds. It's huge. It cost $600, but I love it. It still works, kind of. But I mean, as far as like the PS3 was concerned, I loved it, and like I think the PS4 is just gonna be like that and more. And the biggest thing I'm looking forward to about it really is Destiny.
Yes. Well, and that is going to be an Xbox One and Xbox 360 title too.
But let me just say that as we were talking about the Xbox community earlier, and one of my really good friends on Xbox, I was in a party with him earlier, and we were sort of going over E3, like doing a little overview, like what we thought of it, and he actually said like he was going to not get an Xbox One and instead get onto the PlayStation 4 bandwagon, with me and say he just said basically, screw Xbox. I'm not going to pay I'm going to pay $500 for it.
Right.
I think that's just a really big. That's the biggest difference for me. Like,
I mean, just think about where Microsoft would have been if they didn't change all their technical DSM policies, like with always online and Connect always like watching you, or some people would say that.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. I mean, they're lucky they decided to listen to people and take that off, because they'd be in trouble.
And like one of a really good friend of mine, he's a really big Xbox fan too, and like that always online thing would have really screwed him up, because like he lives in the more rural parts of the state, and he doesn't necessarily have internet. So I mean, like that wouldn't have even been possible for him.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Well, and I think let's talk about the bad part of Sony A3. One thing I didn't like is that I feel like they showed a lot of their big guns during the actual announcement, and they just showed the specs, and they showed a few of the games and like some of the software, but it's not really anything special. I mean, it's just a PlayStation 3, but
I feel like they stuck with what was safe.
Yeah.
And that's all well and good. I mean, to just stick with what will work. But I mean, there's only so many times you can do that before you can really innovate and get out there and try something new. And on that, I think that is a perfect time to segue into Nintendo, who is always pushing the bar, who is always trying to do something.
Yeah, always something to try to do something innovative, which I think Microsoft is trying to jump into. Is like trying to be the center of a living room, which is what Nintendo Wii U was a year ago. The only thing about Nintendo Wii U, they just really lacking software. They're getting their butt kicked right now in their feud with EA, and EA is just holding all their third-party titles back from Nintendo, which is really unfortunate, because the game that I was really excited about, that EA announced DICE would be making, Star Wars Battlefront.
Yep, Star Wars Battlefront 3.
Well, it's just Star Wars Battlefront right now, because I think they're going to reimagine... It's pretty much a third one, but they're going to reimagine the whole thing. I don't know if they're going to go from still with the third person aspect or go first person.
I think they actually might do what on the first Xbox, like the very first Xbox. I want to kind of halfway call it the Xbox One, but I can't do that anymore. On there, I had Battlefront 1. I had Star Wars Battlefront 1 on there, and like you could switch between first and third person.
The more popular thing was
you could do that in Battlefront 2. Like I still have Battlefront 2, and I played it like last week.
Yeah, and
you could do that.
I mean, have you guys seen like any of the trailers that they were showing in development when LucasArts still had it in their hands, when they were still holding on to developing the game, like kind of under wraps? Like if you see some of those videos on YouTube, just like some of the footage just looks phenomenal. I can't imagine what they're gonna do with like the DICE engine and just their whole server and stuff is going to be online. I do think if they put out Star Wars Battlefront and it's not on Nintendo, I will probably die. No,
it's okay.
I'm probably gonna.
It's
die.
okay.
I'm a
eventually.
I'm a Wii U owner, and so I'm sitting here. I got it the month it came out, but I am getting my butt kicked right now when it comes to software. It's getting really old to keep playing 2D Mario games. However, I am really excited about the new 3D Mario Land. I got to go to the Nintendo Experience, or Super Mario 3D World is what it's called. And I'm really excited about it. I got to play it at the Nintendo Experience at Best Buy that they did during the week of E3. That was really cool. I got to see Mario Kart 8 in action. I got to see the new Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. And I got to see Wind Waker HD, which who isn't excited about Wind Waker? Like that was a really awesome Zelda game to begin with, and now they're ramping up all the graphics. So one of the things I'm really excited about, though, is the new Smash Bros. Game. I am just absolutely excited. I know you don't keep up with Nintendo a whole lot, but Nintendo did announce that they were going to talk about it around the time of E3 back in January of this year. They said they were going to talk about all the games they talked about, all that I just mentioned, and including Smash. And they said that they're going to show live playable demos, and they did. Technically, they did show some some in-game play, but like from those people who played Melee and played Super Smash Bros. Brawl, they kind of like to drag out those releases and announce the characters slowly but surely. What do you? I mean, I know you kind of looked into Smash, so what are you excited about from the new Smash Bros?
Really just being able to play Samus again, like Zero Suit Samus, like not for what you think, but like I was really good with her. Honestly, what I'm looking forward to most are the new characters. They only have three out
Three new
right
characters announced as of right now. The villager from Animal Crossing.
Totally unexpected.
And he's also really overpowered. Check out those developers' interviews that I posted. You guys can watch those, and they actually watch the Smash one because they go over all the moves of him and Mega Man.
Mega Man, I think it's about time that they gave Mega Man or what he deserves. Really, I mean, like back whenever Mega Man was like a really big thing, he earned a lot of money for Nintendo.
Yeah, and Capcom's helping develop. A lot of the Capcom team is really involved with helping this, so we're gonna see a lot of surprise guests, I think, from Capcom.
And like,
I don't think Mega Man was a surprise though.
I really love Capcom. It's one of my favorite producers, at least on the PS3 or on the PlayStation side of things. And it really did make me sad whenever they decided that they were going to release Monster Hunter not on the PlayStation, the system that it was originally on.
And who knows, we may, because the Monster Hunter's release just came out on 3DS and also Wii U, we could see some Monster Hunter stages or even Monster Hunter characters, possibly.
That'd be really cool. I mean, I know, those who have played Monster Hunter, you think, well, but it's, you make your own character, there isn't really a set character. You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
There actually is, some set, defined characters in there, and it'd be great to see them in there.
Yeah, and I could see Capcom pulling that one just to, surprise people, especially since, Smash, one of the really cool things about it is it's backwards compatible between both systems, the handheld 3DS and also the Wii U, and they're going to integrate and correlate the game between the two systems. They said a lot of the stages and stuff for the handheld will be based on handheld games, and a lot of the stages for the Wii U will be based on home console games. So I could see them throwing 2 different Monster Hunter stages and then 2 Monster Hunter characters in there, but we'll see. This is all unannounced stuff. This is just speculation, which we like to do a lot.
Speculate.
Who doesn't like to hope and think that they're going to do something cool like that? And the last character they announced.
This was
kind of a shocker to a few people, but
yeah, I don't know if you remember my expression whenever you actually showed it to me.
I mean, he looked like a trout. His mouth was gaping open.
Are you this? Could this really be
is this legit? Wii Fit Trainer.
Yes, that faceless person from the game that no one played because who uses a game to get fit?
I mean, if I want to play video games, I want to lounge on my couch and eat Cheetos.
And who wants to actually get up?
But I mean, Wii Fit has been a major seller in Nintendo especially during the time of the Wii, because the balance board was such a cool peripheral nobody's ever seen before. So it's going to be really interesting to see Wii Fit Trainer. All her moves, as you can see from the developer interview, they cover her in there too. All her moves are based on yoga poses and or fitness exercises.
And her final attack.
Her final attack is really cool.
It should not be a thing.
Yeah, it's really broken. For a lot of people that play Tournament Smash, I mean, you're really lucky that they don't use Smash Balls legally in some tournaments because you would just get pwned if they got the Smash Ball.
That's all. It'd be Meta Knight. It'd be Meta Knight all over again.
Yeah, and I'm really kind of anxious to see which characters they don't bring back. We're probably going to have a video just covering Smash with another...
there's just too much.
Yeah, there's just so much to cover. Same with in Star Wars Battlefront. We'll probably be talking about those in several videos later. It'll be either just me or be me, John, and Dosha, it's his nickname, from Bill from Accounting.
You'll learn his real name.
Yeah, you will learn his real name, and you will see what he looks like. Or we'll get him on the phone if he wants to be like that. But, we'll probably talk with him because he's a big fan of Smash, and we'll get to talk with him and see what he thinks. We'll kind of converse and give our more speculation about those games. One thing, again, we kind of covered the negative side of everything. Nintendo, one thing I was really upset about is that they just announced the stuff that they already said they were going to announce back in January. They didn't say anything else special. It was all like, hey, here's the stuff, no big surprises, which I was like, okay, I mean, I guess it's fair, but Nintendo, I mean, come on, you're killing me. I need some more games.
let me just say, I like Nintendo. I mean, the very, very first system I had was an NES.
Yeah, mine was 64, so.
Yeah, so I think mine was a bit older.
Yeah.
But, let me just say, I like Nintendo. I like Sony more, but I like Nintendo. If there was a scale, from favorite to least favorite, it would go, Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft. But you got to give us something new.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many Zeldas can you put out? How many Marios can you put out?
Well,
I mean, before it just gets tired, before it just gets old, and it honestly goes the way of Mega Man and the Dot Hack series, and it just gets sad.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I don't mind more Mario games or more Zelda games and stuff, but it's like
as long as they're good, but
they have to be more original and they have to be more frequent too. Not in the sense of how many new Super Mario Brothers can we put out. I mean, I think just since the DS, the first DS, they had one on the regular DS. They had one on the Wii. They have one now on the Wii U. They also have new Super Luigi U now.
How many times can Peach get captured by Bowser?
Yeah, I mean, for real. And it's all 2D platforming, and I get that's fun. That's why I was kind of excited about 3D World, because it put a whole perspective on the new Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS, which was a really fun game for solo players. But again, it kind of had that lack of multiplayer, and so they're letting people play. They're putting a multiplayer aspect where you can play with up to 4 friends in that. And so I'm really excited to be able to do that. I got to play with a few people at the Best Buy experience and get to see how it plays out. It can be a very team effort, and it can also be a very competitive effort, because at the end of the level they have a score where each player is ranked by score, and it can go from you can hold items from your teammates and get their items, so you can get an extra 1,000 points.
And Jaden, I'd kill you for an extra 1,000 points.
Right. I mean,
I'd kill you in Mario.
I'd throw you off a cliff for an extra 1,000 points if we're going competitive.
I'll boost off your head over a gap.
Especially if
I get an extra 1,000 points.
For example, if we'd already beaten the level, especially as a team, and we were just going back to get more lives or coins and points, I would totally just push John off a cliff. But no, for real, I mean, Nintendo has a lot of great stuff coming, just not soon enough. And I think what's really hurting them right now is they're hurting in console sales. They're expecting the 3DS to carry the entire company, but you also have to have a really solid home console too. And the reason they don't is because of lack of software. And so they're going to have to get something together, because all their big releases, like we said, Smash, Mario Kart 8, those are going to be coming out until after the holidays. So the real games that they're going to be selling before Christmas is the Wind Waker remake. Again, it's just a remake, like a lot of their earlier games were from launch anyway. The new Pikmin 3, which comes out in August. And also, the last thing is Wii Fit and Wii Party U, or Wii U Party, and also the new Wario game, which comes out this Sunday, or tomorrow.
Which I am actually pretty excited for, because I actually really
WarioWare games are so fun.
I really liked WarioWare.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really fun. It was just ridiculous, and that was...
there might be a midnight release from that. We can maybe go in a couple of hours.
Yeah, maybe. We can, get it filmed and possibly put it on.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll let you guys know. But again, that's really some of our E3 speculation about the major consoles. Now let's look at Ubisoft and EA really quick. Again, we kind of covered EA on Battlefront, but let's talk about their sports games. Get those out of the way, because I know there's a lot of there's a lot of people out there who love their sports games.
All right, well, for sports games, I'm just gonna turn it over to you, because this is just me personally. I'd rather actually play the sport instead of
Well, I mean, I think some of the ideas that they're putting into the EA games, especially the ones that they're doing on Microsoft, the sports games, graphically look unbelievable. They look great. They look like they're going to be throwing in so many different ways to compete with your friends and play online, which is really cool. For example, Forza, which I know isn't an EA game, so I'm kind of getting off topic, but it is a racing game, so I'm bringing it up. They created a new way to race. You're never racing against AI anymore. What they do is when you're racing, there is like a race avatar, or I can't remember the name of it. It was kind of silly, like a raceatar or something like that. But it would study your like how you race, and then when you're offline, your raceatar would race constantly, competitive, like 24/7 worldwide against other racers in the same style that you would. So the AI learns how you race and then races other people. That's really cool, and I think they're gonna do more aspects like that too. Like with, I think EA is gonna take that and steal that too. I think they're gonna do that with like, a lot of like their solo like Madden and stuff, even UFC and just how people play. I think they're gonna take that and they're gonna use that in their games in the future too, since that technology is there. Let's talk about some more stuff from EA. What were you excited from EA?
What do you think?
I mean, talk about it. I mean, obviously, it's so hard to look past Star Wars Battlefront because we're just like sitting here, finally.
There's a copy like sitting on the table, like right over there of Battlefront 1 and 2.
Yeah, there is.
So it's.
I mean, I'm a diehard fan. I've been waiting for this installment for a long time.
Yeah, ever since like what, PS2?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't put one out in the last generation. They didn't put one out on PS3 or Xbox 360, and so many people were demanding it, and here it is. It's finally here.
There was actually
a generation late.
There was actually one thing that I wanted to mention that like I don't know if this is actually true, and I haven't actually had time to look up, but I heard. Speaking of sports, I know this is America, and soccer isn't a big thing here.
Mm-hmm.
FIFA 14 on the PS2.
Yeah.
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 PS2 is still a thing.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Gen 2 console.
Yeah.
We're going into Gen 4.
Yeah, and they still do it. It's crazy. And so, I mean, sports games are big sellers. They sell them every year. People will buy the new Madden every single year it comes out.
Yeah,
the new
it's just
NCAA.
the same. It's just the same thing. Just
now, let's talk about Ubisoft. What do you think?
The biggest thing from Ubisoft so far that we have to talk about has to be Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
For sure. I mean, Black Flag is going to be a really great game. I'm really excited to see what they do with it. I mean, who didn't love Assassin's Creed 3 just because of the naval battles in the sailing?
Actually, I was just about to point out that the only thing I loved about Assassin's Creed 3 was the naval battles. I mean,
yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I like Assassin's Creed, but I mean, you just can't beat it.
And I think they're doing ship-to-ship boarding.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, you're a pirate.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
going to happen.
I really love the Assassin's Creed series. I mean, ever since the first one, I mean, I'm going to college for a history degree, and so I think it's really great that there's finally a game that, you could actually learn stuff like historical stuff from it.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I mean, for once, we actually get more of the whole pirate aspect from more than just the Pirates of the Caribbean series that Disney put out.
Which, I promise, is not accurate to
yeah, probably
what
not.
pirates were like.
Probably not. Pretty sure Captain Jack Sparrow wasn't, real.
Why is the rum gone?
Why is the rum gone? Yeah. Anyway, so, I mean, really excited about that. I really think that EA and Ubisoft definitely won E3 with like all their third-party announcements and just kind of what they were showing off. But if we were going to go console war, who do you think won E3?
I mean, I think you know what.
Yeah.
Who I'm gonna say.
We're both gonna say kind of the same thing.
I personally think that Sony, while they didn't release anything, super spectacular, like they stuck with what was safe, with what they know works.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that could hurt. Sometimes I think in this case, sticking with what worked won them the day. And at least, if they didn't win, then maybe, they tied with Nintendo.
Yeah, I was going to say, Nintendo probably, if you can't say they're a definite winner, they're definitely maybe tied with Sony. The only reason Microsoft wouldn't have won, the only reason they wouldn't have won is just because, just the console price, which some people think is a fair price for everything it can do, and
I don't. I
I
don't
guess we'll find out when we see
know.
the sales reports in January when people are all going to buy the consoles after the holiday season, um, and we'll determine that ourselves. But I mean, I think the price and also just the whole policies regarding the internet, which I'm glad they changed, but
Oh yeah.
this was still around the time of E3, so
But just the fact that
they kind of kicked themselves in the butt.
Just
when
the
it
fact
came
that
to the
they
race.
had to change it.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
know.
I mean, if they would have just listened to fans to begin with, because they were talking about this months before even E3, they were talking about it and saying it'd be an always online console, and just some people just didn't like the idea. And even Don Matrick, the leader in the whole Xbox movement, he even said that this is his word comment, which is kind of kind of rude when you think about it to all his dedicated fans. The thing that he said was, "Oh, we have created a console for those people who don't always like an online console and don't like, don't like having internet connection all the time, and and that's the Xbox 360." And so
that from like a marketing standpoint too. I mean, if this is your new thing, you want to push it and make it likable. Yeah. I mean, otherwise people aren't going to buy it. And you're a company. I mean, you have to sell stuff to be successful. And if you're telling people to revert back to your last year's model, just because you just don't want to change anything.
And it's not a good way to market something new. And I think that they hurt themselves in that the only thing that really came out of Microsoft at E3 was software. That's what was going to sell them stuff. It was this few games and software that they showed that people liked and people were interested in and excited about. I like how they're trying to get more exclusive and trying to make more games just for themselves. Like, I think that's great. I think Nintendo needs to step up and do the same thing. I mean, who doesn't want more exclusives on their console? Like, that's the reason you buy consoles. My girlfriend always asks. She's always like, "Hey, why do you always need the new game console?" I'm like, "Because they play different games." She's like, "Well, I get that, but I mean, what's really different?" And like, they just don't understand. Like, Mario and Halo are completely different.
Could you imagine a combination of just like Mario with like an assault rifle?
That'd be interesting. Shooting Goombas.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And saving Princess Peach from an evil alien race. Anyway, but I mean, I kind of got sidetracked there. But I mean, again, I don't think Microsoft won. I think they shot themselves in the foot with that. I think they took more steps backwards than they did forward. I mean, software isn't enough to sell a system. Sometimes
you have to actually sell the system first.
Sometimes, and sometimes that's what you need to sell a system. Nintendo, I'm talking to you. You need software. You need more software. Okay.
Sony, you're doing great.
Sony, you're doing all right. You're still hanging in there. So I think Sony or Nintendo won. Nintendo would have definitely won if they would have surprised people with a bigger announcement than just those games. A lot of people were disappointed that Retro Studios wasn't making another Metroid. Instead, they're making Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
I think that's something that our mutual friend, the Halo junkie that we mentioned before, like I think he's gonna be pretty disappointed at that. He's a huge Microsoft or
Metroid fan.
Yeah, thank you, Metroid fan. Huge Metroid fan.
Yeah, and so I mean, that was definitely disappointing. But I mean, I don't think Nintendo wanted to release all their guns just yet. Nintendo is very patient. It's one thing I like about them. I mean, it kind of sucks because they're always delaying games, but the thing that Miyamoto and Iwata from Nintendo always say is, a rushed game is a crap game. It usually is. And so they like to take their times with it because even though they release few exclusives and it's all spaced out over time, they always usually have delays with their games. When they do put up games, they're usually always like 95% of the time a solid title. It's a solid game. And they're going to, I can always see Nintendo making great games for a long time. The question is, how much longer is that going to be? If their software doesn't sell over the next couple of years, I mean, could we see the end of Nintendo? I hope not.
What I see is in that scenario, them kind of going, away from consoles and reverting back to what has always made them money are handhelds and their fallback Pokemon.
Well, yeah, Pokemon. We sell a lot from Pokemon. We won't get into that this time. We'll wait for our buddies to come in and talk about Pokemon because I want all four of them. I want all the guys here to talk about that.
We're huge Pokemon.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, you think we're excited about all this stuff? I mean, these guys are like 10 times more excited than we are just about Pokemon. You know. Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, so I mean, we'll get to talking about that. But I do think that they're maybe going to step away if they do start not succeeding. They're going to step away from the console race and just be a game developer. That's kind of what Sega's done. Sega's done okay, but I mean, let's face it. Sega game versus Nintendo game. I mean, Nintendo's going to win usually hands down.
Can't even remember the last Sega game I played. It was probably Vanquish. Or was Bayonetta a Sega game? I think it was a Sega game.
Yeah, Bayonetta was Sega.
So it was Bayonetta.
Which, Bayonetta 2, by the way. Which, again, we're going to cover it another time.
It's Devil May Cry with Chick.
Maybe. Anyway, so that's all we're going to talk about today. I think we covered quite a lot of topics for you guys to talk about.
There was one actual thing that I forgot to mention, and I was looking at my shirt, and it reminded me of this. One of the biggest things that Sony put out that I was actually really excited about, other than Destiny, was the new Killzone game, and I'm wearing a Killzone shirt, which was originally intended by Sony to be the Halo killer on their system. Didn't work out the way they expected. It still turned out to be a really great game. And seeing the videos that they put out for it, oh my god, 1080p. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah. The only thing, again, that I didn't like about that is that they showed Killzone again at E3. They should have been showing more exclusives than Killzone. Because Killzone was also at their announcement of PlayStation.
Infamous Second Son.
Okay. Yeah, that too. But
looking forward to that too. Love Infamous.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we pretty much wrapped it up. Now it is your guys' turn to talk to us and tell us what you guys think.
Shoot us a message. Let us know what you think.
Leave a comment. Yeah. Start talking. That's how this is going to work. Because you guys are the community. You guys talk about everything that we say. Give us your speculation. Leave your comments. And we're going to have a lot of Q&A coming up in a little bit. So just stay tuned. Watch the video. Share it with your friends. Again, pretty soon when we get to about 100 likes, we're going to start doing giveaways probably around that time. It is really exciting. Once we get to that point, we're going to start doing giveaways, and it's going to be based on shares and new likes every month. So you'll get an entry every time you share, and then also every time you there's a new like to the page that you shared. Or, if you're a new like to the page, you'll get an entry. So there's 2 ways to get an entry. And then we're also going to do other contests and stuff coming up too. Just stay tuned. Watch all the videos. Share all the videos. That's another way. You share a video, not just the page, but if you share a video, that's another one.
If you share anything, really.
Yeah. And again, once we hit 100 likes, we'll start talking about the giveaway, talking about what we're going to do first. Probably it's going to be pretty practical early on, but we're talking in just about a month or so. We're talking game release, probably, we're going to be giving out a game at the end of July, probably. So just stay tuned. Keep sharing. Keep getting people in there. We're going to start doing collecting names now. We're going to start collecting, names now from people who are sharing videos, sharing the page, and also a new like. Those people, we're going to start figuring out your names. We're going to write them down. We're going to put them in the hat, and then when it comes time to the first, giveaway, I mean, I can't imagine what it's going to look like in a month when we do the giveaway. Like, what our page will be like in a month would be huge. And so, again, it starts now. Start sharing. Start getting people excited. Because,
get free stuff.
I mean, who doesn't love free stuff? And we're going to have t-shirts and stuff coming up, too. You guys can buy those for a really cheap price. We'll show you guys those soon. Anyway, anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's pretty much it for right now.
All right. It's time to sign off.
All
right. Well, again, my name is Jaden Stanley.
I'm Jonathan Zollo.
And we were the Fanboys Gaming. So stay tuned until next time, and we'll see you guys later.